So as you do notice, we are one box short here. We're missing our little our dutiful president is visiting Tokyo FC and making friends across the globe. So he's going to bring us back absolutely nothing, but nothing but memories. So
A heart full of love.
Marcus, we miss you. We love you. We can't wait to have you back. And I'm tired of doing your work. So hurry up.
You did a great job taking over this week. It was great.
I appreciate it. I don't think I have the energy in me to do that for another week. especially with a game like that. This was look, it was a full moon. It was not great. The atmosphere was weird is the best I could say. I don't think it was a poor atmosphere, but I think the vibes were off. As the kids say, the vibes.
I mean, I heard from multiple people at multiple times of the day, starting from the tailgate, like early, all the way through the end of the game, and us in the parking lot an hour later. It's just been a weird day.
Yep.
Like everything is weird.
Yep.
So I don't know. I don't buy into full moon stuff, but Saturday made me question it a little.
Yeah, it was like I said, weird vibe. Vibes were off, inside, outside, all around. Tailgate was great. We had a great time. Shout out Chef Matt. My goodness, that brisket was incredible. I'm still dreaming about that. Brisket was on point. I still don't know what the hell a Seattle dog is because I'm not putting cream cheese on a hot dog. I'm just not doing that.
I think it's just a bagel, but worse, basically.
Yeah, it's a bagel without the good part of the bagel. It's cream cheese and onions on a hot dog. Like, it's just weird. I don't know. You guys up there in the great Pacific Northwest. I don't know. I get a little crazy.
I don't know. Maybe we're just being petty, but I'm not gonna be the one to say it's true.
I don't know. I put ketchup and mustard. That's what goes on hot dogs. Maybe a little relish, maybe a little onion. All this other crap, I don't know. It's weird. Chicago, Seattle. I don't know what you guys are doing with hot dogs, but it ain't for me.
How do you land on a Sonoran dog with the bacon wrap?
Bacon makes everything better.
All right, let's go then.
There's nothing that bacon does not make better. So, game recap.
Talk about this, do we?
I don't even want to talk about this game. Can we just see you next week?
Yeah, right. Just jump over to Trinity. Well, I don't want to talk about that game either.
I don't really want to talk about that. Tailgate, watch party. Come find us. Peace out.
Like and subscribe.
Like, share, and subscribe.
Oh yeah, sharing is a thing. Yeah, this is why I don't do it. Marcus does.
Seattle Sounders 1, FC Dallas 0.
I mean, how do you want to get into this game? You want to just start talking about stats or moments? Like
let's start with the most damning stat of all. Shots on goal, 1.
Oh my God. Yeah. That's horrifying. But beyond the shots on goal too, like let's talk about it compared to theirs as well, right? So shots on goal 1, which by the way, we're supposed to be a high producing team, right? Our shots supposed to be quality. So we think they would get on, which is just insane that we were just, I don't know. Something in the attacking third this game was brutal. It felt like people weren't making their runs.
There was no attacking third.
Yeah. It felt like people weren't really making runs in, which was weird. Like we said, everything felt weird tonight, right? Like, I don't know where to put the blame on that. If it's like a formation issue, if it's
formation wise, things did look a little different coming into this one. Anderson Julio back in the lineup, which was I think a positive, but I didn't see much out of him.
We didn't see him doing what he'd been doing all year that was working.
Right. And so you start the game with Musa and Julio up top, Delgado in the midfield, but was trying to play winger, which I think
too many jobs.
Yeah. Patterson came in and I don't know what the hell he did, right? He was playing out wide half the game. And, if you're supposed to be back in that sort of 8 position, you should be getting forward, but you shouldn't be out on the touchline. You shouldn't be out on the far touchline like the way he was playing. And he wasn't getting back on defense the way he has when he's played that role in the past, right?
Yeah, well, we clearly missed Leggett, right? Leggett can do that. And
yes.
Leggett understands hold-up play. Leggett understands transitioning forward or when to move back and mark a guy. I don't know. Maybe we're just missing veteran experience that, on Saturday night. I don't know. I just still weird to be going wing to eight. I don't know.
That being said, Leggett, the news broke Saturday morning that he's out for at least 8 weeks now, it seems.
Wild.
leg injury, lower leg injury, which is, I mean, obviously these types of things happen, but when you're a guy that is in the shape he's in, I'm curious how something like that happens and how we don't hear about it until the morning of the match.
Yeah, I do think that FC Dallas is like legendarily mum about injuries, so I'm
As is
not
the
as
rest of this league.
surprised, yeah, that we didn't hear about it until that moment. It's frustrating, and I think it's just something we've dealt with forever, right? You don't really know, and all of a sudden, oh, someone's out 2 months.
Well, speaking of injuries, in the 47th minute, just before halftime, Logan Farrington comes on for Peter Musa, who gets carried off in a stretcher. Looked like a non-contact injury.
I am not sure what happened exactly leading up to it, but my big thing is if it's anything crazy severe, you go down on the field. Right? No
Yeah,
reason to hobble off. You go down on the field and get stretchered off, stop the game right there, blah, blah, blah. But he was able to hobble on it a little bit at least. Like, I know as soon as he got off the field, he threw himself on the ground.
he's also a warrior, though.
Yeah, we
Like
all saw and maybe yeah, maybe he was just being tough.
yeah, maybe
But,
he didn't know how bad it was until he got off the field. Maybe he was just trying to get off the field. He's got, Quill's got this warrior mentality, so part of that might be get the hell off the field and don't have to get carted off, so I don't have to replace you if you're, if you just picked up a small knock and are going to come right back in.
maybe I did text everybody in our group going, I think it's just a sprain, just based on this and that. And that's what we're getting, but we'll see how severe it is. Those can get pretty bad.
Yeah, high ankle sprain. I mean, he can miss 2 months, right? And
You can miss more depending on setbacks. I mean,
right,
it's ankle sprains aren't a joke.
especially for a guy that is up top and plays with a lot of speed, right?
And
You
is
can't
what, 6'7"? How tall is this dude?
6'7", 6'8". Every conversation I've had with him, I'm looking to the sky. So,
Yeah,
and
not great when you're tall and you have a sprain. That's significant, actually.
yeah, he's got. I mean, I'm 5'9", 5'10" on a good day, and I look up at Musa like he's feeding me. Please,
Yeah,
sir, can I have some more?
I don't know. That was just so discouraging to see. There's not someone you'd like to see hurt, but he's maybe the last one you'd like to see hurt.
Yeah, it's not a good look, and we gave him a good round of applause as it came past the section, and he had his face covered like he was
Yep.
it from I was up front and had an eye on that, and it looked like it was more uh not discomfort, not pain, more of like he was frustrated that he had to come off, frustrated that he was hurt, disappointed in himself
Yeah.
was the vibe I got from the 3 seconds as he walked past me. Obviously, I'm speculating here a little bit, but that's
Yeah. Well, worth talking about that when they were checking him out and everything when he came through, just looking at the medical thing, theoretically,
well, you're the
they didn't
closest we
pull his
have to a
shoes off.
medical. Yeah, you're the closest we have to a medical
Yeah.
professional
They
here.
didn't
So
pull his shoe off. They pulled his sock down and were clearly checking all over above the ankle and the calf. So hopefully it's something like that isn't crazy structural and, something he can bounce back from. Even if it's a serious ankle sprain and he's out a couple of months, it's better than, a bone shattered or a muscle tore. I can't say it's not that, but, didn't look like that. So we'll see.
well, we're rooting for you, Moose. We hope
Always.
see you back soon, and if not, come hang at a tailgate. We'll keep you fed, and we'll keep you fed while you get healthy. But
Look, we all like Logan. I think we're all excited to see what he
absolutely,
can run.
yeah, I'm excited to see the big dog. It's big dog time, but depth is a concern here, right? Who's behind him? Tarek Scott,
Yeah. I
who's
mean,
gotten 0 minutes.
we've seen Tarek Scott at least look dangerous a couple of times with the first team. That was last year, and it was weaker competition.
Mhm.
But I don't know. Maybe it's Quill wants to play the kids a little more. See what happens. I mean, we don't have that many options. This team doesn't have much depth. I mean, you could even see it in left back, right? When when Nolan came out. Not to
Yeah,
get ahead of it, but
no, no, no. I mean, we skipped ahead a little bit, so we'll bounce around here a little bit. But yeah, Nolan comes off late, and we got Siki and Pedrinho come on for Ramiro and Nolan Norris in the 75th. And who's playing left back really in this formation? I mean, it looked like it was left back by committee at that point, right? It was whoever's over on that side, get over there and cover it.
yeah, no, it was
I
not
mean,
great.
We did finally see Show showed up.
Shokafumana. Mhm.
Show Kafumana showed up, and that was in the 58th. Chu and Show came on for Kaike and Patrickson. Um, Again, nothing really happened with this group here. But let's back it up a little bit.
Yeah,
Let's go early.
we're just
Um,
trying to fast forward out of this thing.
yeah, it's just we're gonna spend not really any more time talking about this than we need to. But 17th minute again, back to back weeks, we give up a goal in the 17th minute.
Yeah, I
Uh,
didn't see that stat until I was reading, I think, Buzz's write-up on the
yeah, yeah,
game.
that's where I saw that as
That's
well.
kinda stuff they just come up with randomly. I'm like, I would have never even thought to look that up. I
Yeah, that's such a weird number. But 17th minute goal comes in. Ring first shot rings off the post, bounces back directly to an open sounder, and they score a damn goal. 17th minute. Not
Listen,
pretty, not
he coulda
great.
scored the easiest goal of his life, or he coulda passed it off and let his compatriot score the easiest goal of his life. I
I mean,
mean, Delgado doesn't step up to the man, the guy gets a shot off, and both our center backs pull up and stop. I guess they were expecting an offsides and just leave 2 men open for the rebound. I mean, what's Paz gonna do except for his best at that point?
yeah, first shot comes off from way outside the box. Absolutely way outside the box. Rings off. It was a hell of a shot from out there. Rings off the post. Paz doesn't get to it. Gets a hand on it, and it just rolls. Danny Musovsky just comes in, and their Moose bested our Moose this week. Unfortunately, we lost the Battle of Moosin.
I think
Moosin.
it's Moose's. Yeah, I don't know. I just bad all around job at that point, covering.
Yeah, there's I happen to have the replay up right now, and so nobody was offside there at all by any means. And there are three attacking players in behind the defense now at this point. When
Oh, there was 3? Oh my gosh.
there is three. So you had the two attackers up top, and then there was a number 14 coming in on the left wing. Um, where is their star striker Jesus Ferreira in all of this? 5 feet outside the box.
I was gonna guess at left back. I saw him running left back for them a couple of times this game, as opposed to right back.
So, I wish I could share this image here without copyright, but essentially he is up in the top of the penalty area at this point. I guess waiting for God only knows what, but he is so far out of position, it's not even funny. That's much, honestly, good riddance. Love the guy personally, great guy, but good riddance here. He's done nothing out there in Seattle, and I think we were right to dump his salary and move on. I think it's been time to move on. So
Well, you know what he has done in Seattle?
nothing.
He has been part of a team which you can check. I think the stat is the same for FC Dallas that has as many home wins in our stadium as away. Well, you know what I'm trying to say. Seattle's won as many games in our home stadium as we have all season, so he's done that.
Yeah. There's that, but that's not saying much, right? We're better on the road. Are we just we road dogs? Is that what it
God, I
is?
hope not. I don't want to be that Austin FC team from a couple of years ago.
Yeah, I'd like to, like to enjoy the atmosphere at home. I'd like to, you know, as much as I love going home with that red smoke in my lungs, I'm sure it's not great for my health, but it's an exciting feeling, right?
You know, yeah, I didn't realize 3 players had gotten into the box like that. I don't know how anybody in the modern era, especially a veteran now, where we have VAR and you've been in a league with VAR for years now. I don't know how people are still pulling up when they think someone's offsides.
Not great. Not a great experience at all.
Yeah,
It's
and
just disappointing.
Osaze for all the good he's done, and he's phenomenal. I will not take any of that away. I even think he had a decent game this game.
He did.
That moment to
He had some
pull up,
great defenses late in the game.
yeah. I mean, to pull up in that moment, that's a horrible mistake to make. I'm not blaming it all on one player, but like I said, there's at least 3 players there that I think are at fault, and there's probably more.
The only thing I can possibly guess here is and again, I'm just sort of like Zapruder filming this back frame by frame here to see where everybody's head is at. And sure, maybe he thought they were offside. They both thought that their man was offside, and then the third guy comes in a little bit late here. But it rings off the post. The only thing I think of is maybe they thought that this was going to be touched over or touched out, and they just didn't get back. But This is why Boz keeps giving up goals because there's nobody to back him up. These guys are just out of position,
Yeah.
leaving men unmarked constantly.
But even in the United States, like what they teach every kid, play to the whistle.
Right. Every sport, every
Every
single
sport,
sport,
man. Play to the
play
whistle.
to the damn whistle.
Yeah.
It's like watching a in the NFL when you see a guy that it's a penalty or something, everybody stops playing, but then the guy picks up the ball and runs it back to the end zone because nobody was paying attention because nobody actually blew the whistle. There's a
Yeah,
flag
and all
out,
of a
but the
sudden,
whistle was
no
never
flag
blown.
on the play.
Right. All of a sudden, flag gets called back, touchdown.
Yeah. Shoot. Rough times. Dagger.
Yeah. Tough loss. Tough loss. This I think we have to see a formation change, right? Because I don't know if no Musa, no Leggett. I don't know if this formation plays.
Yeah, I haven't really taken a look at what I think they can run without those guys, specifically Legit. I think Legit's the biggest issue formation wise, but
I think you got to go back to just take it back to a basic 4-4-2 or like a pseudo 4-4-1-1 with Logan and Lucho up top.
yeah, I wish I understood formations a little bit better in like tactics. I'm definitely not the man to break it down too much and give you a suggestion here, but I mean, I imagine we'll see some kind of change. I clearly the backups we have for a player like Legit aren't there yet. Although,
which is insane considering how many midfielders we
yeah.
had at the end of last season and the start of this one. It just seemed like we had a surplus of midfielders, and all of a sudden we don't anymore.
Yeah, but even with Legit, there was plenty of times where people just run it right up the middle on us. So,
Yep.
maybe it's a deeper problem than just we're missing Legit, right? That's not the only problem. Uh, he just happened to be a player that was doing the job right. But what I worry is if we're changing up a formation, I think with this diamond or whatever it is that they've been running, Ramiro has been in a better position to do the job that he's built for. I worry that any other formation we're going to move into, we're going to start exposing him again, which is a problem.
Yeah. The only other option I could potentially see is you end up running with if you want to come back in the diamond, you run Delgado again and maybe sub him off for Siki, or maybe you start Show in Delgado's position there, and then you have Delgado, Kaique, and Ramiro in the midfield, Lucho up on top of that diamond, and then you run Julio and Farrington up in at the double nine. But again, you're getting into this same, there's no width in that
Yeah.
attack now because there's no wingers, and you've got Norris and Shaq's supposed to be the guy to get forward, but Shaq's had to play defense because that Shaq AB side has been a mess, and it still looked like a mess this week. And where do we go from here? Lots of questions.
I think that considering Show as an option, I don't think he's an option. I don't. Not after this game, not yet.
Option by addition by
You're on the
subtraction.
roster, I guess.
Are you fit? Are you healthy? Do you have both legs? Great. Suit up.
Can you run most of the game? Let's go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's where we're at, right? We knew when the season started we have no depth, and we knew our midfield was weak. So I guess it shouldn't be a total surprise. The big shocker I think so far this season is how many 1-goal games we've had.
Yeah, I mean, the defense was always a question, and I think they've performed better than expected, but with the way that they have been playing individually, I think they should be better. And yeah, there's been a couple of 1-goal games, but the attack that we were expecting has not been there, right? We talked early in the season about this expecting to be, a little bit of a doomsday offense. We'll talk about that in a second when we talk Trinity, but we expected this to be a little bit of an attacking front and seeing goals from 4 or 5 different guys, and this play the ball through Acosta has just been a sort of weird trap that they've fallen into, that everybody tries to get the ball to Lucho. Nobody's getting forward. Lucho can't really pass out. And, there's a lot of miscommunication, a lot of just nobody getting forward and nobody getting shots off.
Which is crazy.
Got to take shots.
Like this game, even Lucho's stats were great.
Statistically, Lucho had a great game. Yeah, you're right.
It's just wild to not see something getting produced out of it. Maybe it's just a weird game. Maybe Seattle just knew how to force us to beat ourselves. I don't know. It feels like as someone who's been following this team since the early 2000s that it's always Seattle, right? They always find a way to beat us. There's always something.
Seattle and
And yeah,
Colorado are just always those two teams
yeah.
that no matter how bad they are, they seem to have our number.
Yeah, I never feel bad losing to Seattle per se, but this one feels bad. I do think this is the worst game of the season for us so far. Definitely the worst one in my experience.
Yeah, this was not fun. It was not fun to watch. It was, you know, we were up there making as much noise as we could, but the air just felt dead, right? It just
See,
felt
look,
like
we didn't even go down swinging. Like it was
right.
just you're down. That's
They
it.
didn't start swinging until maybe the 85th, 87th minute. They really started pressing really hard and trying to rip some shots off, but none of them were on goal. They were just wild shots. Saze had a couple good defenses and pushed the ball out pretty quickly, but again, we depth, right? There were late pieces, guys who came in late were playing out of position. They weren't playing in a traditional position that they're used to. Siki playing left back, I guess, was the official substitution, but he was nowhere to be found there. Not a lot to be said about the second half at all, except for I guess the referee found his cards at some point late in the second half. I guess maybe he left them in the locker room in the first. I don't know what really happened, but
Jeez, I mean, beyond that, there were at least 5 to 7 more minutes that we didn't play.
yeah.
I I
I
I
mean,
think
not
Steve
that we
Davis.
wanted to play. Our guys didn't want to play on it at
Right,
all.
but I think Steve Davis or someone was talking about that in the postgame show. I mean,
Yep.
there was at least 5 minutes of a player just wasting time. Nuhu throwing a bitch fit. I mean, it's
Knew whose corner. Yeah, it was like 3.5 minutes he
yeah,
wasted on that
it's
corner.
like we're not going to blame the referee for this loss. The team clearly wasn't up to it.
No,
But
you
that
can't
is a
blame the referee when you
serious
only get
thing.
one shot on goal. You
Yeah.
cannot blame a referee.
I feel like last year we did a pretty good. I say we. I think last year the referees did an all right job of managing time wasting.
When the real ref showed up.
Yes, yeah. Well, when the scab refs finally left. And by the way, they are scabs and they deserve to be treated like scabs. Just my
100%.
opinion. Anyway,
100%. Don't cross the picket line ever.
they started handling the time wasting all right. I thought every now and then you'd see a card come out, but they would start rushing people off. Like added time was insane last year. You saw how much added time there were in some of the matches last year. I think we had one that was like 13 minutes mid-season. So I
Yeah,
was like, I don't know, like at least do something. If you're going to let them waste the time, at least actually add it. And I don't know, this is the thing we've been complaining about internally for the last couple of weeks. So I want to see a referee assert their authority to an extent. Like I know they don't want to impact the game, but by not doing your job, you impact the game.
and I think to your point, yeah, I think it was Steve Davis that mentioned it on the podcast. He said similar, like this was a young referee who doesn't typically throw his weight around too much, but in a game like that where it gets, especially how physical it was and how physical it was early, you gotta take control of that game earlier. And I know Kaique got his. By the way, Kaique has the ultimate shithousery gene. Like he's
Oh,
got it, and he's going to be.
chest kiss. Let's go.
He's
I
going to be
will be
one of those
praising
guys.
this man for the next few years.
He's gonna be one of those guys that's just beating the crap out of people, and it's gonna be fun watching him and Norris together once they really get synced up. I think watching those two guys play because they're just
Let's talk about just those two guys for a minute. Then finish up what you were
ankle
talking about.
breakers. They're just. But Kaique caught that yellow very, very early. It was like the third or fourth minute he caught a yellow.
It wasn't great either, to be fair.
It wasn't great,
Wasn't
but it was probably deserved. But after that, the physicality continues on both sides, and there's a lot of chirpiness, there's a lot of chipping, there's a lot of just hard nosed tackle football. And referee didn't throw his weight around, didn't really take control of the game. And you saw that with the frustration that FC Dallas had late in the game because they weren't able to possess the ball. They weren't really controlling the game. And, they got physical and nothing was really done about it. And like I said, till the last few minutes, cards started flying. But by then it was already too late for everybody. Yeah, too little too late. The game was already out of control. So, yeah, refereeing needs to be a hell of a lot better than it was there.
Well, look, we've been on a positive side of that this year too, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, let's talk about the Houston Dynamo game, right? That referee decided not to assert much authority, and the game got super chippy. And all of a sudden, people are complaining about Peter Musa not getting called for a foul, and we get a goal off it.
Well, then the following week we lost. Farrington's goal was called back in Colorado, so that's a wash.
Oh yeah, sure. And I guess really what I'm getting at is
inconsistent.
A lot of this game. It's like baseball to me. The reason I don't want a robot umpire without getting on a rant is that the beauty of a game like baseball is that your hitters and your pitchers both are playing against each other to figure out the umpire's zone.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
whoever figures it out first and figures it out best generally comes out on top, assuming your pitcher's good, right?
Yeah.
But it's the same thing in soccer. The best players understand, oh, this referee's not calling these things. I'm going to keep playing this. It's the same reason I think the U.S. got beat down by Uruguay a few months back. They didn't read the referee and they didn't play to the aggression that the referee was letting them play with.
And I'm fine with cards being thrown around. I'm fine with warnings being thrown around as long as it's consistent. Same thing.
That's all I want. Consistency.
Yeah, like a strike zone, right? As long as you're calling, if you're calling that low strike for me, I want the next guy to get it too. That's what I want.
Sure.
I want consistency. So if this is a foul, then call a foul every single time that happens. And if you're not, then that's where complaints start to come in. And this was a really inconsistent performance by this referee crew.
And before we leave the game, I do want to give another.
Please make a final point. I don't ever want to talk about this
I
game
just want to say
again.
that Norris once again had a few decent passes and stuff.
Yes.
I do think Norris is still kind of blossoming into it, and he had a couple of passes. I don't know if they were called key passes or anything like that, but they were good. And I think that's all I really want to say about the game. I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah, no, Norris looked incredible. He maybe incredible is a bit of a stretch, but for a young kid, the way he's been coming up and the way he's been playing, he looked really good, and he did have some really good progressive passes. He had some really good. And I think, like I mentioned last week, I think once we really start to see him get going and he's got targets and these guys start to understand how he moves the ball around, I think we're going to start to see them get a little bit open, a little bit more. And again, this is one of the other reasons I think maybe going back at least temporarily while guys are out to a 4-4-2, you get two wingers ahead of Norris. And you can really move on the outside. Again, this is a team that has been for the past few weeks attacking with no width and had very little attack because there was no width, in my opinion, at least. So as much as I like the way the Diamond has showed up defensively, and you've got three midfielders that all can get back on defense and one that can get forward, that looks great. But with the way these injuries are working out right now, I would love to see Norris get out to Chu or Julio on the wing, right? But it's a matter of bodies at this point too, right? Who's going to fill in, and what's the bench look like in the week?
Yeah, maybe we'll get some of that verticality again. So, you want to talk about next week?
Yeah, let's put this game to rest. I don't ever want to talk about this ever again. Maybe next time we'll talk about this is when we go up to Seattle and we complain about this game again. But for now, let's put this in the box and never ever talk about it again. Moving forward, next week we are on the road in Minnesota.
Well, they look like the real deal, don't they?
They look really good. My one question out of the gate is which one of these teams is going to have less possession, because these are both two teams that don't like to possess the ball. I'm almost wondering, and I think it was actually the post, going back to the post game too, seeing we both listened to the official post game, but I think it was Ryan that said on the post game, just drop the ball at midfield and have guys stare at each other for 3 minutes.
Oh yeah, he was comparing it to a hockey.
Then drop the gloves and start fighting right out of the gate. These are two teams that don't like to possess the ball, so I'm very curious to see where we go from there.
I mean, I know our team doesn't like to possess the ball, but you know what? Scrap the point I was getting at here. Really, I think it behooves us to not have the ball away, and I think Minnesota will be under more pressure to perform in front of their crowd, right? So I don't know. Maybe we see something happen there where we can get them in transition play, but I right now I'm not seeing our transition play be wonderful unless it goes vertically and just skips our midfield. So I mean, if we get Julio, Logan up there and they can play a little vertical, maybe we can sneak away with one. But I don't know, man.
I think you need Julio, Logan, and Chu up there. But then again, who's on the bench to come in for those guys? So that's the question mark for me at that point is, do you run those guys out there for 75 minutes and then hope you bang in 3 and then you can put in Tarek Scott with no problem?
Well, look, we can't talk about this game without talking about the next 2 games. We've got a
tough run
that we're going through. We're playing Minnesota, then we're playing Inter Miami, then we're playing San Diego, right? So I guess it depends on how Quill decides to line this team up. I do think Quill's mentality is we go and try to win every game. But sometimes in this scenario, coach might go, well, we're going to
Those are
focus
all three on
on
the
that,
road too, by the way.
but they're all on the road, so it's a big one. I don't know what to expect from this game. I think we have a shot because at this point, for some reason, the road warrior thing is there. And I think Minnesota will be under more pressure to play with the ball than we will be. So if I had to put money on who's going to have the ball more, I would say Minnesota. But, who knows? They're a good team. They might know exactly how to break us down and force us to chase the game. See what happens. I doubt we'll have Musa back, even if it's a mild sprain. That usually knocks you out a week, right?
Yeah, I don't see Musa back for maybe we get it back for the San Diego game if we're lucky. I mean, it depends upon what this is, right? If it's just a basic sprain, do have an extra recovery day coming out of next week. Because after Minnesota, we play Miami on Sunday, so you got to.
Yeah, a great job, MLS, screwing over all the fans that already bought tickets and booked their planes.
That
Thanks for
sucks.
caring about your fan base.
That sucks, but as you can tell, I'm a Serie A fan, and they don't announce the entire schedule until like the day before the game. So,
But you know what? They didn't set it in stone, and people didn't buy all their tickets ahead of time.
true, very good point. I mean, this is what happens when you got cup games and schedule congestion and all that other stuff going on. It's not ideal, and of course, it's Miami, so MLS gonna MLS
Mm-hmm.
the Miami League Soccer.
Right. So what are you thinking? Do you think we pull out a win in Minnesota, or do you think this is one of those where we have no hope after the last game?
I'm looking at these 3 games, and we're playing 3 tough teams. I would really like to see them come home with 3 points out of this road trip. I think would be successful based on these teams. It's not ideal for where we are in the season right now, but I think for this schedule of road games, I think they need to at minimum bring home 3 points out of this. However, they can get it done. Again, not ideal with the way they've been performing at home. They can sneak a win, and if they can sneak a win out of one of these games, maybe catch Miami napping off a cup game, maybe catch Minnesota napping at home in front of their crowd. We'll see, but it's tough. I think again, this Minnesota thing might be a draw. Like, I think we're gonna see a draw. If we can pull a draw out of that, I'd be okay. But we got to see some attack, right? There, the attack needs to happen. We cannot continue with what we see.
I think that we're looking at these games a little bit more critically than we normally would, just because this team has done so much away from home and nothing at home. I think it's hard for me to not be like, yeah, they can pull something off, and maybe that's not something to lean on, but I don't know. My hope is that they can get 4 points out of these 3.
Yeah, 4 would be ideal. I think 3 would be manageable.
On the road generally, so
that's about it. I think we're gonna park that. Not a great feeling all the way around, but
well, if you feel bad about this, do we want to go out of the frying pan and into the fire?
Dallas Trinity on
Let's
the road
go.
in Spokane. 3-0 loss. All 3 goals coming in the second half.
I mean, I think it's worth just discussing the parity in this league. There's maybe only one actual bad team compared to all the others, right?
Yeah, we beat the crap out of them last week.
And it's just any team could probably show up any given week and beat another team in this league, which is really fun to watch. But it's bizarre watching a Trinity game or a Trinity team that's going like 6-0, 3-0, 2 whatever, nothing, and then 3-0 loss, 3-0 loss.
Yeah, it's weird. It's either they score a bunch or they get scored on a bunch, which is just really, it's a strange juxtaposition to be watching out there. And I guess, new league, new team, still a lot of stuff to be felt out here. Starting lineup changed a little bit again. Cameron Lancaster starting again for the still injured Leximissimo.
Which no one's mad about Lancaster on the field.
No, not at all. But
even when Missimo's in, we got Lancaster in, right?
Right.
We should.
Right. Allie Thornton up top, which is Allie's great. She's got a incredible attack. But there's attacking that usually comes from all over with this club, and we didn't really see that. The shots on goal were very, very low. I don't
Did they play Brooks further up this game? It felt to me like she was further up.
She was playing, she was playing a little bit of an 8 role, I think, getting forward there a little bit, but they don't play with a traditional 6, right? They do sort of like a double 6. It's like a double pivot in the back. Or at least they did with this lineup. I know it kind of varies a little bit from match to match here with them. But it was yeah, she was a little bit more forward than she normally is from what I saw. I admittedly did not watch the entire game. I watched highlights and I caught the majority of the second half. Just a little short on time here this weekend. It's been pretty busy. Um, you got Dallas Cup going on here as well, which is over at the Cotton Bowl. That's been exciting. I've catching a couple of highlights of that game, those games. But yeah, just not much to really talk about here either with this game. And there was just not a lot of attack.
I
4 shots on target out of 15 shots. But compared to Spokane's 6 shots on goal out of 7. So Spokane 6 for 7, Dallas 4 for 15. That's
you said you didn't really watch the first half, right?
yeah. I saw first half highlights. I didn't watch much of the
Yeah.
first half in its
Well,
entirety.
here's
No.
actually where I disagree. I thought there was plenty of attacking in the first half.
Okay.
Dallas Trinity was front foot. They just weren't putting their chances away,
Well,
which
they
we have
had
seen
15
happen.
shots.
Well, we've seen this happen a handful of games now where they come out blasting, shooting, hit the post, miss a chance, this and that, and just not putting their opportunities away. We've seen this happen with this team every now and then. It's not been abnormal, and I think Coach even mentioned something about them coming out to play in the first half and just turning off.
So you're right, and maybe I misspoke a little bit. Maybe it wasn't a lack of attack; it was a lack of finishing and
Yeah.
not great attacking. Right? The attack was there; it just wasn't going home. Right? They just weren't able to
Mhm.
take it home. Just running down the numbers here. I got no, and I'm a big stats guy. I'm a
Right.
numbers nerd. With 10 corners, no goals is it's a bad look. And this
Pretty
team
bad in
got
this league, that's for sure.
bad in this league, but I think, and I have to go back through the numbers and look at it, but I feel like this is not a team that is very successful on corners. I feel like Dallas ends up with a lot, and I'll run the numbers at some point. We can talk about it next week, but I feel like we get a lot of corners and don't capitalize on them nearly as often as they should.
Yeah, well, we've mostly feasted on, I think, capitalizing on forced errors
Yes.
has been a big thing we've done this year, and, well, they don't, I think, come along as much on the corners in the same way. We've really punished teams on the fly and the transition.
Yeah.
We've really punished teams anytime they make any little error, and we press them, and that's worked pretty well. Uh, but this game they were getting forward, I think, even without causing them to create errors, and they just weren't putting it in. I think we hit the post a couple of times, crossbar. I mean, just one of those games where you just can't find the net for some reason.
Yeah, just wasn't great. Wasn't all that fun to watch, and here we are. So that being said, this weekend we have this week is an afternoon game, right?
I think it's 4 p.m.
Yep, 4 p.m. Back home at the Cotton Bowl. Dallas Trinity hosts Fort Lauderdale. That would be if numbers hold right now. Dallas has a game in hand over Fort Lauderdale right now, but Dallas is in second with 36 points behind Carolina that has 40 points, and Fort Lauderdale is in fourth with 33 points. So still real tight at the top. We're 4 points out of first, and 6 games left to play, I believe, is the official.
Well, and talk about the inverse. How many points are we out of playoffs?
We are in a playoff spot right now.
All right,
So
I meant how many points is the first team out of playoffs? It's like 3, right?
the first team out of playoffs has so we've got Carolina with 4. There's 4 playoff spots. So we've got Carolina with 40, Dallas with 36. That's 1 and 2. And then you've got Brooklyn, Fort Lauderdale, and Tampa all with 33 points behind there. So
Yeah, I'm telling you, it's close.
and the 6th team, which is second out of the playoff spot, has got 28 points. So
Yeah, the parity's there, man. It's a fun league to watch because everything is so close.
you've got 4 teams duking it out right now for 6 positions, and it looks like Carolina is gonna be pretty well locked up there. And Dallas, as long as they don't completely crap the bed throughout the rest of the season, they should hold and be able to hold on to a playoff spot. Lexington and DC are pretty much out of it, but you've got they got 16 points apiece. But you've got Fort Lauderdale coming to town, looking to make a statement, looking to bump themselves up here too. So
Yeah, look, you got a good team in Dallas Trinity. You got a team that could easily go on to win it all. So, man, if you can come out there to watch, support them. It's great. The team's trying real hard to support supporters. There's a tailgate before every game, hour and a half before the game.
Sponsored by Community
Yeah,
Beer.
there's free beer. I mean, come on out. We got drums out there. Come hit a drum. Come yell with us. It's a good time.
Yeah, bring the kids. Kids love this, and if
We
you
are a lot more kid friendly at Dallas Trinity.
we do we try and keep it PG or at least PG-13 there as much as we can. Much more tame than we are in Frisco. We're just there to have fun, make some noise. It's a little bit more of a chill environment, but we're there looking to have a good time. One
Well,
thing I
come speak
wanted
to supporters, man. We want you guys there. So
Yeah. One thing I did want to mention about Dallas Trinity, they have a promotion on their social media right now. Check their bio. Enter to win a VIP trip experience to cheer on Dallas Trinity in Fort Lauderdale on May 24th. The travel package includes 2 tickets to the away match in Fort Lauderdale on May 24th, round trip airfare for 2, 1 night hotel accommodation, $150 Visa gift card, $100 Uber voucher, a gold suitcase, a gold, I
what?
guess, Trinity theme suit.
That's awesome.
Can I buy one of those? And official Dallas Trinity FC merch.
I hadn't actually read that. That's way more than I thought.
Can we hit up Travis? I need a gold suitcase. I need a gold Trinity theme suitcase.
Yeah, we'll shoot him an email.
Please. We Beer Guardian business. We will absolutely be there for the tailgate this weekend at the Cotton Bowl. Come out with us, hang out, make some noise. We'll have some free community beer. I'm sure there will be food options. We don't know all the details yet. We haven't been locked into that. That is not our tailgate. That is a club and community beer sponsored tailgate, but we're just there to make some noise and join up with the other supporters groups that are taking formation. If you want to be involved in the grassroots building of an organization, now is the time. Get out there, get involved. There's some great people trying to patchwork together a little supporters group for this club. So please show up, get involved. If you got ideas, if you got thoughts, if you just want to help out, if you can pull beer, if you can open cans, if you can hit a drum, if you can play a horn, if you could wave a flag, if you could yell real loud, come out, get in the section, hang out. And then immediately following that game, you can follow us over to Community from the Cotton Bowl. We can all hobble over together and watch the FC Dallas watch party for the late game on Saturday evening at 7:30. Yeah, Minnesota 7:30. So come hang out with us all day on Saturday. It's gonna be a hell of a lot of fun. We will be there. We will be loud, and that's about it. Dallas Cup is happening this week all over town. There's games at the Cotton Bowl. There's games at high schools, colleges, all over the place. Check out the website for a whole bunch of activity. Get out to a game if you can. Support some of the local clubs that are involved. FC Dallas has a couple of clubs in there. I believe they have an ECNL team in there. There's clubs at every level. There are U15s, U18s. A lot of fun matches happening all around town. And last but not least, Open Cup is this week. A lot of exciting games. We're coming up on time here real quick, but anything you're interested in watching this week?
Yeah, I mean, I think all of us are interested in Portland Hearts of Pine versus Rhode Island FC.
Up the Hearts.
Any New England versus New England is going to be fun. I think, if you like local soccer, there's no reason you shouldn't support San Antonio FC versus Union Omaha. AV Alta versus Orange County. That's some good California rivalry happening there. But for me, the big derby this week to watch is on Wednesday at 8:30. El Paso Locomotive against New Mexico United. They got some pretty heated matches under their belt in the past, and I think it might be worth watching. Reminder that New Mexico's knocked FC Dallas out of the cup before, so that's a good time.
That is a fun one. And New Mexico,
Quill's former team.
That's just, I was going to say, New Mexico United, also former home of our fearless leader, Eric Quill. My game to watch is going to be Wednesday at 6 p.m. FC Naples, Tampa Bay Rowdies. It's going to be a fun little Gulf Coast, Florida rivalry match there.
I've got some buddies on that Tampa Bay side, man. The Skyway Casuals, shout out to them. Great supporters.
Rowdies are, an excellent group that have been in and out of the league over the years, in and out of the game over the years, and this iteration really seems to do what they're doing. There is a gentleman. I'm going to talk really slowly because I want to pull this up and get this correctly. There was an interview this week on the Soccer Wise podcast with president of the Tampa Bay Rowdies, Ryan Helfrich. who started his career. Great interview on the Soccer Wise podcast. If you want to check that out. But he started his career at FC Dallas as a ticket sales rep, and
Oh wow.
he is now the president of the current iteration of the Tampa Bay Rowdies. And I believe this is also an anniversary year for them as well. Yeah, this is the 50th anniversary of the Rowdies. So a lot of fun stuff going on over there. Check them out. There's a ton of games on the board this week for the Open Cup. You've got Crew 2 versus Pittsburgh Riverhounds. That's a nice little local rivalry. You've got Tacoma Defiance, Oakland Roots, another great local club in Oakland doing some amazing things up there.
Wonderful kits.
Yeah, incredible. You've got, and then out west, Wednesday, late game, 9 p.m., Sacramento Republic hosts El Farolito. The Burrito Boys are marching
on. Let's go, Burrito
on.
Bowls.
Let's go, Burrito Boys. If anybody knows anybody at Farolito who can get us a jersey or a T-shirt or a scarf, anything like that, please let me know. I'm happy to send payment for that, pay for shipping, everything else.
Shoot, let me know if we can buy a shirt from the restaurant.
Most definitely. I mean, if you guys have like I don't know, do they have like a Gold Belly burrito package or something that you can order, make your own burrito kit? I want to support this club. I absolutely want to come out and support this club. I think it's gonna be a lot of fun. Another interesting note game that might be interesting. Colorado Springs Switchbacks won Knoxville SC. You can go check out Herbert Endeley of FC Dallas, who's on loan in Colorado Springs right now.
Good shout out.
Yeah, might want to check that one out. Detroit City versus Westchester is going to be a good one. A lot of good games in this lineup, and next round is when the MLS teams come in. So we'll see who we're facing soon. I know we're getting a game on that schedule as well.
Hopefully not at home at this point.
Might be one and done. If it's the Burrito Boys, it's like to see Farolito come to town and knock off an MLS club. I tell you what, if we draw Farolito, I will be in the Farolito away section. How about that?
My God.
I'm saying that right now. If we draw Farolito and Farolito comes to Frisco to play, I will be in the away section.
Well, we got anything else?
I think that's about it. Any final thoughts?
Nah, just drink local and support local soccer.
Hell yeah. Like, share, and subscribe. See, I got it in. See you, Marcus.
Well done.